Let's get some mindset going, okay? That is what we're here for, is to get our mindsets in the right direction so that we can be successful in the things that we want to do and accomplish. Let me get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Talk with Claudia. I'm your host, Claudia Ellis of Claudia's Decor. Today, we are talking about the look of being busy, basically being busy equaling success. Why do we think that? We are totally, hey Jessica, we are totally confubbled. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's a word made up, but we are so deceived. We are so deceived. We watch social media like it's a lifeline. And at the same time, we are believing the lies that we're telling ourselves. Because if we're not busy, then we must not be successful. And that is not true. Every Friday, we come together to have honest conversations about what it really takes to build a creative business. Not just the crafting, not just the selling, but the mindset behind it. Because I truly believe your business will never outgrow your mindset. Okay, so today, hi Shona. Today's conversation came from something that I caught myself doing this week. I was scrolling social media, and before I knew it, I found myself looking at everybody else's businesses. One person had 20 orders, another had stacks of shipping boxes, another was showing a sold out launch, another was talking about how exhausted they were because they were so busy. And then I caught myself thinking, wow, everybody seems busy. And then came another thought. If everybody else is this busy, what am I doing wrong? Have you ever thought that? Have you ever felt that way? And let's define busy. Okay, let's define busy. Oh, I need to hear this because I get so discouraged when I see this. Shona, I know. Friend, I know. I think before we can have this conversation, we need to agree on something. What does busy even mean? What does busy mean to you? Is it working all day? Is it selling? Is it creating? Is it being overwhelmed or running around, answering emails, having lots of customers? Like, is that what busy is defined to you? Like, what is busy? Do you get to the end of your day and be like, I know that I have been working so hard, fill in the blank. And then at the end of the day, you're like, but what do I have to show for it? Right? Everybody seems busier than me. Hi, Carly. Hi, Carly. I know you're with me in these feelings because it's hard. It's hard not to feel that way. It is so hard not to feel that way. Can two people both be busy doing completely different things? Absolutely. Absolutely. Busy is not a measurement, it's a feeling. But who taught us this? I've been asking myself this all week. Where did I learn that busy meant I was doing well? Was it in school? Was it parents? Was it corporate jobs, social media, culture? Is that where I learned it? Did anybody ever congratulate you for resting? Did anybody say, hey, you got a massage? Good job. Hey, you took a nap? Good job. Hey, you took time for yourself? Good job. That wasn't celebrated. Did anybody ever congratulate you for learning? For learning your trade, for learning what you're doing, for learning, taking the time to invest in learning what you want to do and do it better? Did anybody ever congratulate you for that? Carly, trying to keep up with the Joneses. It's a really bad saying. I'm telling you, it is awful because we're so focused elsewhere that we forget to focus on what works for us. What's going to mean something for us? What kind of busy can we be that's actually moving us forward to where we want to be? Right? That's something that we don't focus on enough. We don't do that enough. We were not praised for for resting. We were always praised for getting things done. So I went down the rabbit trail. I did. I went down the rabbit trail. Think about work, corporate America. Corporate America, what did you get praised for? You were asked in an interview how well you multitask. What are your multitasking skills? How much can you get done? That's what we were taught. That's what we were praised for. That's what we got an attagirl or attaboy about, is how much can we multitask? How can we prioritize better? How can we get a lot done in a short amount of time? And that's where incentives are, raises, bonuses, commissions, all the things about more, more, more. So we're super busy and super exhausted. It's like, how good of a worker can you be? Yes. Yes. Okay. And then growing up in our homes. Did we get a thumbs up or praise for sitting down and reading a book? I'm not talking about learning like schoolwork book. I'm talking about like books that we like to read. Like, I loved Nancy Drew. I loved to read Nancy Drew. I loved to sit with a book and just get lost and escape everyday life into an imaginary life. But I didn't get praised for it. It wasn't like, hey, that's good. You're doing good for you. No, that's not where our praise comes from. And then our productivity. Right now, for my job, you love Nancy Drew too? I love that. Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, read them all. Hey, Greg, good morning. But productivity was praised. So now when you're doing stuff for yourself to build your own business, and all you have to gauge your productivity by is what you see on social media with all the things and what everybody's doing. Meanwhile, you could be in your, hey, I'm learning how to do this right now, so I'm focusing here so that I can learn this, so that I can then implement it into my business and hopefully move that needle forward. Believe it or not, that's actually doing more than you think. So what if you're not posting things about all the sales and everything that you've got going on? If you don't have a solid foundation for what you are creating, it will fall apart. This is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Okay? So fear keeps a lot of us from taking that next step, that next thing that we want to create or do. I promise you, if you're so busy looking at everybody else, you are not going to build what you're meant to build, what you're supposed to build. Yours isn't going to look like theirs. It's just not. It's not going to look like that. So we get desperate in those situations, right? We get desperate. We do things that we probably shouldn't do for our businesses, but out of desperation, out of that feel of, fear of keeping up with the Joneses or fear of not accomplishing things, we do things for our businesses that we shouldn't do. We do things for our businesses, that we shouldn't do. Okay? So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. You have to celebrate all the wins, all the step forwards that you take. Every step forward you need to celebrate, period. Regardless of what that looks like. Wondering if this is the business for me. Shona, I was so discouraged I didn't touch a wreath for 2 months. Friend, who are you surrounding yourself with that can help you when the mindset gets that deep? You are not alone. Shona, you are not alone. Oftentimes when people get seriously quiet and kind of disappear for a while, you know that one of two things are happening. Either they're building in silence or they're struggling in their comparison. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous, because let me tell you something. If you want to build something for yourself, nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is coming to save the day. Nobody is going to chase you down and say, you need to do this. Nobody's knocking on the door saying, hey, you've got supplies that you need to be putting together and putting out here in the world. Nobody's doing that for you. See, Carly's joining you, Shona. She hasn't designed something in a couple of months as well. Although, my friend Carly, you did make a coloring book and you did launch it, and that's creative. You're restructuring behind the scenes, exactly. So you're not giving up, you're just refocusing your efforts, right? You're refocusing your efforts, and that's important too. That's important too. I want to be really careful here. Social media isn't evil. I make content, you make content. Marketing matters. But marketing is the highlight reel. Okay? What do you post? Do you post bookkeeping, taxes, SEO, inventory counts? No. You're posting exciting moments. See, Carly just said something extremely important. Her best creative ideas come when she's resting, when she's not in the rat race. Guys, when I tell you rest is so important, I had a whole segment about this. Because we celebrate productivity. We celebrate and encourage and everything else, what you're doing, what you're busy doing, how busy are you? But we don't celebrate when you're taking time to figure things out. And that's what's important. Because like I said, busy doesn't mean successful. It just doesn't, okay? What if everyone else is doing exactly the same thing? Then whose reality are we comparing ourselves to? What reality are we comparing ourselves to? Yes, I want these wins for you. I do. I want these wins for you. But don't be discouraged because somebody else is further down their journey than you are. Celebrate the small things. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate every step of the way. You can even celebrate your failures. You can. You can even celebrate when it didn't go so well because you learned from it. You learned from that failure. You learned that that wasn't for you. That wasn't the way that you needed to go. So then you pivot. You pivot and you try something different. Okay? But being authentic to yourself, being honest with yourself is key. Hi, Cassie. Good morning. That's key. See, celebrate you. Exactly. Shona, I promise you, we have all been where you have been. Good morning, Michelle. We have all been where you have been, my friend. But if you're not sharing your struggle with a community that will support you in your struggle and remind you that getting into your craft area, getting into the place that you love, why you began this at all, why you began this to begin with, okay? You need to do the things that get you back to your joy, that get you back to that place of why you started this to begin with. And Shona, if you're wondering if this is the business for you and taken the time to really work that out for yourself, what does your heart tell you? What does your heart tell you? Does it tell you that, hey, I'm not ready to give up? I'm not ready to give up, and that's okay. But you need to move forward from that place. From that place is I'm not ready to give up. I'm not ready to give up. Okay? I learned something fascinating. Okay? When we don't know the whole story, Our brains create one. Hey, hey, Miss Kelly. We assume. We see boxes. We assume success. We see followers. We assume money. We assume profit. We see sold out. But do we actually know? We don't. Look at Shona. I'm not ready to give up at all. I'm meant for this. See, that's the place that you need to wake up from. Every day, tell yourself that. I promise you, something shifts within you. And then it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. You start focusing on what your next step is, what your next thing is, right? Yeah, Carly, let's celebrate, Shona. That's right. You were meant for this. Everything has its season, okay? Everything has its season. And for some people, they might say, you know what? This isn't the route that I want to go. That isn't what gives me joy every day. And that's okay too. And realizing that for yourself, okay? So on the assumption, on our brains filling in the blanks, when we see stuff, we don't know the whole story. We don't know how people got where they got. We have no idea. We have no idea. So we're in chapter 1 and they're like at the end of the book. You know what I mean? We have no idea. We don't know the full story. That's why there are times where I ask people to join me. Join me and share your story. Join me for Real Talk. Let me interview you so that people know where you started. Because everybody has a story. Everybody had a struggle, and everybody got to the other side of it because they didn't give up. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And they'll tell you that, there were negative times. There were times where they wondered if taking up half my house is really what I wanted to do. I'm telling you, everybody has a place where it starts, okay? So let's talk about our brain. Our brain fills in the blanks of stories that we don't know, okay? Our brain hates uncertainty. So it creates certainty. And it's usually what? Incorrect. We lie to ourselves. But our brain doesn't like not knowing things. Think about, I don't know if you guys do this or not, but sometimes I get caught up in like the stories that you can read on some of the posts that you see, and I'll read the whole story, and then when it gets to the end of what is written on the main post, it says to click the link to find out the rest. That frustrates me. That frustrates me. I'm like, I don't get to know the end of the story because I'm not clicking on nobody's link to find out the rest of the story. But it frustrates me. So why do I read? Right? You too, Shona. I'm telling you, it's like so frustrating. But you have to think of it the same way when you're watching other people that are doing what you're doing. You don't know the whole story. You don't know how they got there. Okay? You know where you currently are. You know your reality, but you don't know their story. You don't know their full story. And nobody would watch if everybody came on here and talked about all the time, like, their mishaps or their entire stories. But I actually enjoy when people share their blooper reels, like the funny stuff that happens when they're trying trying to do stuff. There's people in the chat that have shared their blooper reels, and those make me so happy because here's the thing, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Just because you see the end result doesn't mean that it was perfect the whole time. Right? We don't know the story. We just don't, and we can't pretend. And here's the other thing. I bet you anything, if you're truly curious about somebody's story, if you ask them, they would share it with you. They would share it with you because they feel that they're here now, but man, it took grit to get there. It took a lot of grit, a lot of planning, a lot of fails, a lot of fail forwards. It took a lot to get them where they are today. But for me, when I know that what my struggles are and how I'm growing and what I'm trying to do, watching somebody else's story and success and what they share tells me that I can do it too. I can do it too. It's not going to look like theirs. It's going to look like mine, but I can do it too. And we have to remind ourselves of that. We have to remind ourselves our journey is ours. Right, Michelle? Our journey is ours. Okay? We do not need anybody telling us that we're doing a good job to know that we're doing a good job. Okay? If you still have the desire to build and create what you are doing, then you're doing a good job. Okay? Your productivity, regardless of what it looks like, you're doing a good job. Okay? You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? Now, let's shift gears a little bit. The hobby thinking versus the business thinking. Well, Miss Heather, good morning to you. I'm going to talk directly to the hobbyists. Nothing's wrong with a hobby, but if you want a business, your thinking has to change. Okay? You have to ask yourself, what's the difference? What's the difference between somebody who's doing a hobby, who likes making wreaths or centerpieces or any of that stuff as a hobby, versus somebody who's going to be working on a business? What's the mind shift in that? What's the difference? Okay? Hobbyists are thinking, I'm just happy to get back what I put into the item. I'm just happy to get back the money I spent in the item, right? A business thinks, I've taken the time, I've put a lot of effort into my learning how to have a business. I have searched, scoured, looked for the best deals and best materials and everything else, but you're paying for my expertise. Because when you switch from hobbyist to professional designer, wreath maker, whatever it is, you're an artist. You are an artist. What you create is art. Interpreted however you want, but what you are creating is art. Okay? When you go from hobby to business, you are now putting out your art to be consumed by those that purchase. Time and risk on the business side. Absolutely. Your buying is different. You're paying for a business license. All those things that go in the back end of a business versus a hobby. All the things. Okay, so that mindset switch. Okay, businesses learn. Businesses market. Business knows numbers. Businesses improve systems. Businesses solve problems. Businesses don't just make products, they build customers. They build customers. You have repeat customers. You have clients. You have people that you serve. That's what a business does. Okay? It's beyond just taking your stuff to an art fair or a craft show. It's beyond that. There's a lot more to it than just being a hobby. So you have to ask yourself, I want to make this a business, but I'm not sure how. Can I tell you that there are people that you can reach out to that have communities that build businesses? They help you build your business. Is it easy? Is it worth it? I promise you it's worth it if it's something that you want to do. Social media is free marketing. Social media is free marketing until you get into the publishing your ads and getting your name out there and building a brand and all the things. Okay? But don't compare your day one, year 3 to somebody's year 5, year 10, year 15. Okay? Do not do that to yourself. Don't look at somebody who has established their business and is busy in the slow months. They've established their business. They make multiples, which means that they have those same sales. They're in that algorithm on the platform that they can sell stuff on. Okay. If you're just starting out and you haven't been consistent and you haven't been touching your storefront and you haven't been fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank, then what you're looking at is somebody who is busting their butt, who is doing the thing. Okay. Who is putting themselves out there and keeping up with all the stuff. But they had to build a rhythm for themselves that is consistent and sustainable. Consistency, it will make your business grow. Being consistent, anything that you pay attention to, anything that you give time to grows. Just like a plant. Just like a plant. You dig a hole in the dirt, you put the seed in, right? You water, and then you watch it grow. Is it going to grow in a day? Is it going to grow in a week? Depending on what you plant, how long is it going to take to grow? But you can't keep digging up the seed to see where it's at. You can't keep digging up that seed and see where it's at. But you need to put time and effort and thought into everything that you do. Okay, that's what moves you forward. You can't just be a watcher. You can't just sit back and watch. You gotta be a doer. But it has to be sustainable for you. What somebody else does for their business that works for them, that's their business. That works for them. That doesn't mean the same thing is going to work for you. But anything you give attention to, anything that you plant, you water, you feed, it will grow. But that's also the seed of doubt. If you have a seed of doubt that has been planted, be careful how you water it. Be careful how you feed it, because that grows too. Your mindset matters more than anything else. What you think about, what you tell yourself. You can't tell yourself this is hard 24/7 because it gets heavier and harder. You have to have people speaking into you that you're listening to that's building your positivity, that helps you switch the switch, turn on, turn off, turn it on, turn it off, whatever it is, open the door, close the door, whatever it is. You need your mindset to be intact. You need your mindset to be protected. Okay? Jessica, action takers are money makers in the quote I have on my desk. Da-da! Action takers are money makers is the quote I have on my desk. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to begin on my desk. So high five, Jessica. High five, Miss Jessica. That's a good one. Telling you, if you just sit around and feel sorry for yourself because you're watching what everybody else is doing, come on, we got to switch that mindset. You got to do something to switch that mindset, whatever it is. Okay? Think about even outside of what you do. Think about this, okay? Think about the things that you buy. Why do you buy them? What's the marketing behind that? What makes you think about that thing? Start implementing that into what you do. See if that works for you. Miss Debbie, good morning. Think about what that can do for you. If you buy because of the advertisements, the marketing, or whatever the influence is that made you buy, implement that for you. Try it. Adjust if it doesn't work. Pivot if it doesn't work. Change it up, but be authentic to you so you can be consistent. Okay? Because what somebody else does isn't going to work for you. It just isn't. You need to figure out what will work for you. Okay? But learning what business implementation and things that you can put into your business that you can be consistent with. It's important. All right, let's talk about the slow season, because we hear this all the time, especially in what we do. The J months: January, June, and July. January is slow because people just came off of the holiday season, right? So they have to adjust for all the money that they've spent. June and July, people aren't focused on buying because they're vacationing. They're taking a break. They're pulling away. They're doing fun things with their family. So they're not thinking about how to decorate their home. Okay? So that's why those are called the slow months. Okay? The J months. What do you do when business slows down? Okay? Do you make inventory for the upcoming season? Do you panic? Do you discount severely? Do you quit posting? Like, what do you do in the slow months? What is your go-to in the slow months? What do you do when things slow down? What if the slow season is actually your building season? What if that's the opportunity that you are given when things slow down to build your next big thing, or to learn something for your business? The slow months do not need to be a focus on what you're not making or what you're not producing or what money you're not bringing in. The slow, see, clean out and refresh. Exactly. This is the time to do it, because both the when you come out of the Christmas season, you go right into spring, right? And then you come out of spring and then you go into the slower months, but then you're ramping back up for Summerween, Halloween, fall, Christmas, all the holidays, right? And then you go back into the rhythm of slow again. But here's the thing, you can basically count on how the secular systems work when people are buying. Okay. And if people are buying from other people, it doesn't mean that the economy is bad. It just means that you haven't gotten into that algorithm. You're not putting yourself out there enough for people to see. They have to like, know, and trust you. They have to see you out here, or they don't know you exist. Okay. And then the cool part is, if you're on that handmaking platform, is that has its own ecosystem. That's a search engine that has its own. So you need to get there. If you can't get here, get there. Get into Etsy. Okay, get in there, put yourself out there, fill out all the things Etsy asks you to fill out. If you don't know how to do that, educate yourself. Educate yourself on how to do that. Don't just pop stuff up there and hope for sales. That's not how it works. You need to educate yourself on the things that you want to do better. You have to educate yourself and invest in your business. I can't say that enough. Invest in your business. I can't tell you how many slow months that I have taken courses and classes and everything else, because they're offered. People are willing to teach you. People are willing to teach you, but they need to make a living too. If all they did was sit around and freely give out information 24/7, they would never get anything done. They would never get anything done. So invest in yourself. It's worth it for your business. You need to learn the things that you don't know, and don't expect to find it for free, because either you have time and you can go search and search and search and search, or you have the investment that you can hone in on the item or thing that you want to learn specifically. And that matters. That matters. You need to decide that for yourself. What do I need to learn right now? Where can I learn it? Tell me if there is anybody in here right now that can actually say, oh, I had no idea that people taught this stuff. I just shared a 1 minute little segment. Lauren Kilgore of Beautiful Mesh, the Etsy expert that we know in this community. She's not the only one, but she is one that people know in this community. I shared a 1 minute excerpt um, on my YouTube because I wanted you guys to see that Etsy started in 2005. Facebook groups started in 2015, 2016. That's when the group started. Lauren started her group in 2017. Okay. I had a whole interview with her. Go watch it. Go watch the interview I did 2 years ago with Lauren. It was good. It was good. She is a plethora of information. She is knowledgeable. She's been doing this for a long time. Guys, you have to know who can lead you the right way. Okay? And you need to learn from these people because they've been doing it a long time and they have knowledge. They have knowledge that you can learn from. Why wouldn't you want to learn from somebody who is successful in it? There's a reason. There's a reason they do what they do. Okay? What if in the slow season is actually your building season? So what about Pinterest? How many of you have invested time in learning Pinterest? Do you know that Pinterest is actually the platform that we should be focusing on because it leads to sales? Jessica, have you been learning Pinterest? I'm telling you, it is a game changer for so many businesses to be on Pinterest. I recently took a course. I'm telling you, Pinterest, if no other platform, Pinterest. Learn Pinterest. Christine Jerry, who's one of the coaches for Decor Exchange, has a workshop. She teaches Pinterest. Pin Mamas. Pinmamas. She taught a Pinterest course. Gives you tools to be successful. Walks you step by step on how to build your Pinterest. You need that. We need that, okay? What about SEO? What about SEO? What is SEO? Search engine optimization. Why do I need that? It's separate, Michelle. It's a separate course. Look up Pin Mamas. Pin Mamas is her group. You won't be sorry. Let her know I sent ya. The course was fantastic. I learned so much, but it's good. It's good. So SEO, we need to know search engine optimization because it matters what we title our items. It matters the description of the thing, and the tags matter. If you don't know how to do those three things and you're posting willy-nilly out here, you're not going to be found. You're not going to be found. That's just your friend telling you the truth. Okay? Lauren Kilgore just posted that she's wondering what people want to learn. And if there's something you want to learn, she's willing to do a workshop and teach. Guys, they do these micro workshops in the off seasons to teach people things. Look up those courses. Okay. Photography. How to take pictures. Do you guys know that if you label your pictures with a description of what they are, that helps you? Did anybody know that? Like, not just leaving it random named or whatever, like whatever your phone names it or whatever it's named in. If you don't change the name of that picture, you're missing out. You're missing out. Did you know that? See, you didn't know that. All of these things matter. You have to listen and learn. When the seasons are slow, like when you're creating, and if you're not going live while you're creating, what are you listening to in that time? What are you listening to in that time? Listen to people who teach what you want to learn. See, look, Carly, naming your image is so important. And guess what? I don't do it. I'm telling you, it is very important and so super easy. It really isn't hard. And if you know that, like I've always said, you don't know what you don't know. Okay. You don't know what you don't know. So all your efforts are for naught if you don't know that you're doing it wrong. Can you imagine if that's the one thing that changes everything? Hello. All right. And here's another one. Email, having an email list. How many of you have heard that having an email list is everything? Like you need to own your own list. You need to own the people that are engaging with your content. And the only way to do that is through email lists. Where do you start with that? Where do you go to learn how to do that? What, when somebody says make an email list, you're thinking, oh, I just need to have people write their email list down. There's actually so much more to it. Do you know that it's not necessarily legal to email people that haven't given you permission? You need to have permission for people. They need to subscribe to it and be able to unsubscribe to it. Who knew that? I'm telling you, the slow months, if you can go and learn things, it's important. It matters. It matters. And different systems. Like there are systems that you can put in place within your business so that you can actually do more in less time. When you build those systems, you can automate a lot of it. You can automate your posts. You can batch create things so that you're not spending all of this time with that being your focus. But are you learning systems? Are you learning like how to do that so that anything that you struggle with, like anything that we have a hard time with or we don't understand, we tend to not want to do, right? We tend to not want to learn about it because it seems overwhelming because we don't know. Hi, Miss Sarah. It's because we don't know. But if we knew, hey, this system is actually a good way to get this, and this done. Would you do that system? Would you schedule your stuff? Because sitting down for a couple of hours and scheduling out 3 months worth of posts, does that sound doable? Does that sound less intimidating? Because the more you put yourself out there, the more people recognize you in this industry and they trust you. Your name actually means something. People actually are like, hey, I know that person, even though you don't know them, but you know the name, you know the people because you've seen them. They're out here. Okay. So videos. Carly's laughing because I met her in person at the Candy's summer. Gosh, I forgot the name of it. The recent retreat I went to with summertime in the South. Summertime. Oh gosh, that came. Thank you, Lord, that came quick. But summertime in the South, I met Carly in person, and as soon as I saw her logo, I said, "You're the flamingo lady." I mean, we became best friends on the spot. I mean, because you're recognizable, right? You recognize people. It's important. All right. So videos, you don't have to go live to put yourself out here. You can do videos. You can do videos. You don't have to hit a live button. You can do videos. That way you can edit yourself. That way you can see if you like what you said or redo it or whatever. You're not putting yourself out there on the spot just by hitting that live button. And I know for a lot of people that's not comfortable, but you can do videos. Put your face out there. People connect with that. When they can see the whites of your eyes, they can connect with you. So put yourself out here, okay? And then learning. When you're out here taking these classes and learning, engage with the people that are learning with you. Engage with the people that are learning with you. It makes a difference. It makes the learning more fun. It just does. Hey, what did you do with this? You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe I can do it this way for mine. Guys, I get so much more out of a brainstorming session with other creatives than I do looking at videos or looking up stuff all day long. I just do. It's a simple conversation and all of a sudden the ideas start flowing. Does that happen to anybody else? Do you get that with anybody else that's within your community that you reach out to, that you've befriended? That if you sharing with other creative people, all of a sudden you're like, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, this. Oh my gosh, that. Hello. See, love brainstorming with others. It's helpful. It actually benefits everybody. It's very, very helpful. And the last thing on this segment is relationships. Guys, be good people to other creatives. What does that mean? Don't be a crappy person to other creatives. Understand that we are all different. We are all unique. Okay? But stealing idea after idea after idea after idea after idea after idea gets old. You're not a carbon copy of somebody. Be creative on your own. Take an idea and maybe just revamp it and make it something yours. You know? People don't want to be around people that copy them all the time. That's just a fact. Okay? Saying, hey, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do this with it. Are you cool with that? 9 times out of 10, you'll be like, yeah, girl, that sounds good. You go with that. Other times it's like, yeah, I have no interest in that. I have no interest in what you're doing. That's a lot. I don't want to do that. You never understood being mean to others. Let me tell you, personality differences, different mindsets, different upbringings, different experiences. Not everybody's going to get along. But being mean or undercutting or nasty, it doesn't benefit you, doesn't grow you, doesn't draw people to you. You got to be mindful about who you surround yourself with and who you're investing in. Relationships with people are an investment. They're an investment. You invest your time, you invest your thoughts, you're investing in other people, and that means something. So be mindful. If you have a problem with somebody, go talk to everybody else about it. Don't talk to them about it. I hope you know I'm lying. I hope you know. I hope you see the Pinocchio nose. Guys, the only way to fix a problem with that person is to talk to that person. Talking to everybody else about it isn't going to fix it. It's just not. So be better. And don't use the excuse that you're not confrontational. So if you're not confrontational, are you a gossip? Sometimes when something matters and something bothers us, it's literally a matter of, hey, we need to talk. When this happened, it made me feel this way. We need to talk. And sometimes you just need to part ways. Sometimes you just need to say, see you later, Gator. See you later, Gator. This isn't growing me and it's not growing you. So this relationship needs to be cut off. And then you move on like an adult. Which I don't even know if I need to say that. I mean, move on and don't have their name in your mouth no more. Like, you don't need to talk about them. Didn't work out for you. It's okay. See ya. I've had to say that and move on. Just move on. Shake it off. It's okay. You learned. You move on. It's okay. It's not a big deal. But you don't need, when you are a business owner, When we're all out here doing the best we can, the best way that we can, the only way that we know how, we don't need to bring baggage with us, and we don't need to badmouth somebody else's business that they've worked for. We don't need to do that. They've worked hard for that business. Just because you don't agree with them or you're not associating with them, you don't need to badmouth them. You don't need to badmouth them. It's not necessary. You just don't need to do it. And if somebody else is doing it, how long before they're badmouthing you? It happens. It happens, but we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful of that. So that's what I mean by just don't be crappy. Be better, be bigger, okay? All right, let's talk about invisible work. Nobody celebrates learning SEO, organizing inventory, bookkeeping, planning, studying, reading, listening to podcasts, networking. What invisible work has made the biggest difference in your business? What invisible work made the biggest difference in your business? Even if it's not celebrated. Even if it's not celebrated. Michelle says, be the bigger person. Sometimes people don't know how to be a bigger person. Some people feel that if somebody likes somebody else, that it somehow affects you. It doesn't. It doesn't. Wheels and shelves. That's made the biggest difference in your business is wheels and shelves. That's amazing. I love that for you. I've actually thought about that though. When you shared that, I was like, if I put certain things on wheels, I could be more productive. It's easier to move stuff out of the way. So you made me think about that. I'm like, that makes sense in a lot of ways. But see, that's brainstorming. Carly's in my group, so we brainstorm. That girl has given me such good quality input and ideas, and I hope that I've shared the same. But I'm telling you, mindset matters. Mindset matters. I'm big on that if you don't know me yet. But think about it. What's one thing that's made the biggest difference in your business? So wheels and shelves for Carly. You're building a shelf right now. I just built one last night. Hey, Miss Angel, you haven't missed me. I'm still here. I'm still chatting with the audience. Oh, here's the puzzle. We're talking about what's one thing in your business that made the biggest difference for you, the invisible work, whether it's organizing, bookkeeping, planning, studying, reading, podcast you're listening to, your community has made the biggest difference. That's awesome. Networking, right? Networking. I'm telling you, guys, we are better together. Have you heard that? Have you seen that? Think about anybody that's hugely successful in this arena. Think about the people that have partnered together. Look at how each individual's businesses have grown because they've networked. Michelle says, destashing, donating my personal ribbon stash, just keeping what I will use. Nice, Michelle. That's huge. Scheduling time for things, especially computer stuff. Awesome. My wreath coach, she helped me get back to designing. That's awesome. All of these things matter. All of these things matter. So you know that investing in the invisible stuff matters. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. Okay? So let's go to comparison. Not because it's a good thing, but because a lot of us do it. A lot of us do it. And it's sometimes, like I said, I found myself this week was just like, okay, I'm having a moment here. Anyway, I don't think comparison is really about jealousy. I think it's about uncertainty. We're asking, am I okay? Am I behind? Am I enough? Am I doing this right? Okay, all of those things are being asked. All right. Have you ever had a perfectly good day until you opened social media. You were perfectly fine, having a great day, getting things done, and then you opened social media. We've all been there. We have all been there. And it's not necessarily the comparison part of it, right? It's not the comparison part of it because it's not an intentionality. It's not something that you know is going to happen as soon as you open social media. But you see somebody that at one point you were on the same journey and all of a sudden they've elevated, they've gone up. So immediately you're like, what are they doing different? How can I do that? But if you were networking with that person and you could ask them, hey, so I noticed that you had an uptick in this. How did you do that? And then you have to ask yourself, if somebody asked me what succeeded for me, would I share it? And if the answer is yes and yes, networking matters. Learning from each other matters. Does it mean that doing what they did is going to work for you? Not necessarily, but it can give you an idea. It can give you a trajectory. Angel, social media does not affect me. Honestly, what people say doesn't matter. I matter. Of course, we ask questions about what we are doing, right? But if we're not asking what we can do better, if we're not asking what's the next thing that we can do that will put us where we want to be, then we're not growing. Okay, then we're not growing. And we need to do things in order to grow. We can't just put stuff out there and think that it's going to stick. Okay, we need to know what we're doing. Okay, let's redefine success. Finish this sentence. Success means, what does success mean to you? How would you finish that sentence? What does success mean to you? How would you feel successful? Success means what? Are you waiting for me to give your answers? Because I can't. You're individuals, remember? Success means something different to each one of us. All right. Is success finding the right box for your item? Because to me, it does. Somebody asked me in one of my lives while I was making a floral chandelier how much it would cost to ship it to Texas. I had no idea. I hadn't even measured my chandelier yet. Guys, that thing is 42 and a half inches around. 42 and a half inches around. Can anybody guess how much it costs to ship that to Texas? And mind you, it's not light. It's not like our Wreath. It's not super light. And the frame that I used wasn't a heavy frame. It's a pool noodle with 12 gauge wire inside. 80? Mm-mm. It would be a 42 by 42 by 12 inch box. Angel said success means my business is busy and I'm growing and learning. Carly said going to sleep with knowing you did your best for yourself. Awesome. Shona, it's $200 to ship it. Yep. $200 for the size of the box. I put in the size of the box, and that's through pirate ship. The size of the box and the weight to Texas from Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Yep. So my advice is Find somebody local to you that will make one for you. Jessica measures success by her own self-confidence. Yes. And through pirate ship. Yeah. What was the item in the box? My floral chandelier. I'm going to turn the camera so you guys can see it because there's one behind me. Can you see it? There it is. Can you see it? There it is. Floral chandelier. Thank you, Shona. I made 3 of them. There's 3 of them going up for my daughter's wedding. That's what I made it for, was for my daughter's wedding. But what's crazy is I went looking for inspiration on a floral chandelier. Guys, there's not a lot out there. So I did post the video of me making one of them. I did make a video of me making one of them, and I did post it just to give people an idea so that they can make it themselves. There's about, I mean, Michelle knows how much florals I got. But there's about, I would say, nearly $300 worth of material in there. Yeah. I priced it all out. Yep. So yeah, do the math. Do the math. So if anybody wants one of those, in one, yes ma'am, in one, yes ma'am. Yep. That includes the frame, the chain, all the flowers, all the greenery. Because remember, with a floral chandelier, you have to fill up all the outside of it, but you also have to fill out the bottom and the inside of it, because that's what people are going to see when they walk under it. It's 42 inches around, 42 and a half inches around. Yep. There's a lot of material in there. So it's not light. There's weight to it. So anyway, but again, you don't know what you don't know. It's beautiful. It's going to make a difference. It's going to look lovely. And I am going to be able to, if I don't sell them, if somebody wants to buy them, absolutely, I will sell them. But at the same time, I can repurpose everything that I've used. So I'm not worried about it. Like, there's no concern with what I bought. That was the deal. She could pick the colors, but I got to pick the flowers. I think that was a good deal. So anyway, so defining success. A lot of you said things that were beyond just selling stuff, right? It's beyond just selling stuff. Was the one you shipped for a customer? I didn't ship it. I just priced out the shipping. I didn't ship it. Exactly. It's considered freight. Exactly. You got it, Carly. Ding, ding, ding. No, I was just asked how much it would be to ship. And at the time, I didn't know. I had no idea how much it would be to ship. So I know now. I know now. All right. So obviously success can look different for different people, right? Absolutely. Maybe success this year is your first Etsy sale, your first craft show, paying a bill, like your business pays this bill, your business pays your mortgage. Success. You can hire people. How many of us want to hire people? Gosh, I want to hire people so bad. I want to hire people to do the behind the scenes stuff, right? Some people can define success as just having peace. Thank you for the reminder. My husband forgot to grab my A-frame at the dealership. Oh, when you donated the wreath? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay. Time with family. Sometimes that's success, right? And freedom. You're not tethered to a job. You're not tethered to a desk. Some people define success that way, right? See, you're looking at that right now, hiring behind the scenes. Yes. Return customers for ready-made and custom designs. See, that defines success for you, and that's good. That would be amazing. Return customers ready-made and custom designs. You know, let me tell you something. Some people love working with customers. They love creating something specific for a customer. Other people are like, no, I just like to make what I want to make, and customers just buy from me. Okay, that can be different for each person. You have an individuality to you, a uniqueness to you, and you do you. Do your business your way. Okay, it's not going to look the same as everybody else. So getting back to the topic, busy doesn't always mean successful. Okay, what should we be measuring? Instead of asking, am I busy? Ask these things. Did I learn today? Did I improve today? Did I serve someone today? Did I move my business forward today? Did I become a better business owner today? Those are better scoreboards. That'll tell you so much more about the business that you're creating than comparison or looking at somebody else's busy. Okay? Because busy doesn't always mean successful. You can only sustain that amount of busy for so long if you don't have systems in place, if you don't have a plan in place, if you're not creating in a way that's sustainable. Okay? And you have to think that way. You have to think that way. Shona says, I just want to design, don't want to do customs. And that's okay. And that's okay. You can do that. Now, here's the other thing. When you design something, if a customer comes to you and says, I like what you did there, can you make it in this color? Is so much easier than somebody who says, I like this, and this design, and this, and then you give them the price and they look at you like a deer in headlights, because if you want to incorporate all this stuff in this design, it's not going to be cheap. So you've got to understand that, right? People have to understand that, but customers don't always understand. They don't. And that's okay. Price yourself appropriately. Price yourself appropriately. People that want what you sell will buy it. Okay? Don't think that you have to bring your price down just to get the item moved, unless you're making room for more stuff coming in. That's different. But if you're constantly discounting yourself, you're never going to sell anything at full price, because you're teaching your customer to wait till you discount it. And these are all things that you can learn in business-minded communities. Okay? So invest in yourself, believe in yourself, and don't compare yourself to somebody else's social media wins. Okay? Because that can be discouraging. If social media, if your feelings are tied and you see yourself running down that rabbit hole of social media, that's not beneficial to you, because you can learn on social media. You can learn from somebody else's success. You can learn from how somebody pivoted their business and started growing. You can learn from that. But if you see yourself constantly comparing yourself and it makes you feel negatively towards your own business, then you need to get yourself off of there. It's not benefiting you. It's hurting you. Okay? You need to figure it out. You need to figure it out for yourself. Okay? And often that can't be done alone. So be in a mindful community that's helping you and you're growing in it. Okay? And I want to leave you with this. Maybe, just maybe, the work that changes your business isn't the work everybody sees. Maybe it's the work nobody applauds. The reading, the learning, the praying, the planning, the trying again after something didn't work, the courage to keep showing up. Those things matter. So this week, Don't ask yourself, how can I stay busy? Ask yourself, what can I build? Because businesses aren't built in one busy week. They're built through consistent decisions over time. Okay? And before we leave, I want to encourage you to do one more thing. Don't try to build your business alone. Find people who will challenge your thinking. Find people who celebrate growth, not just sales. Find people who tell you the truth when you need to hear it. Because the voices you surround yourself with eventually become the thoughts you believe. That's why community matters. Thanks, Michelle. Next Friday, we're tackling another mindset shift, the fear of going live. Not because you have to go live to have a successful business. You don't. But why does going live build trust? Why does it keep people interested in what you're doing? Why does it help people buy from someone they know? And why are so many of us terrified to hit that button? We're going to unpack the psychology behind the fear, talk about practical ways to work through it, and I hope you'll join me next Friday for another Real Talk with Claudia. Have a great weekend, friends. Thanks, Carly. Bye, guys. How do I get a reminder? Love and Glitter, if you hit on my page, if you hit the notification, every Friday, 11 a.m. Central. You're welcome, Jessica. Guys, thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you guys around the almost 10K. Thanks, Shona. I'll see you guys around social media, okay? Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.